Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. It's your boy B. Zeke in the building. I'm also in the building with Brother Dre.
Yo, what's good? What's good, nation?
We got a dude missing in action, Kesey.
Shout out to our brother Keith.
Shout out to Kesey. And we got our first cross-pod guest. We got Dev Fresh in the building.
What's up, y'all, man?
I've been
That fresh.
Yeah, we got Dev Fresh in the building.
Oh, you let somebody else hold the button?
I didn't even know he had it.
Pass the button.
I didn't even know he had it.
He been taking the buttons hostage, so I'm shocked.
This ain't my show. I work the button on 2 different shows, and this ain't it.
That's all right.
But first of all,
I didn't even know where it was.
That's not true. I've been letting it go for a while now. That I ain't been.
They call you a button hog, man.
Pretty much.
Oh,
That's all you do. I'm not a button hog. I used to be a button
He's a
hog,
button hog.
but I
He a
stopped
button
being a
hog.
button hog.
Did you just call
Tone.
me one?
He's a button hog.
Me or him?
You too.
Because I like the show to flow. I feel like when I got the buttons, I'm in charge of the flow of the show.
You know what?
If it was funny, it gets the funny button. If it deserved clap, we clap it up.
And so I stopped doing it because it ain't that funny. They offend. Feelings got hurt, so I just like, you know what?
Well, first
I'm
of
just
all,
gonna push it back.
speak for yourself. Nobody's feelings was hurt.
You sure?
The perspective of the buttons are different. Like, for example, you might say something that you think is just spectacular, and we might be like, "Man, hit the button. That was good. That was dope."
Okay.
But then you might say something that's a little stupid, and then we hit that, sit your.
Exactly. What?
You know what I'm saying? So
He's good.
I don't really care. But
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That
You know what?
He has his moments.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Fresh.
Yeah.
That's just recognizing.
Wait, what did you say?
He said he's good. I am good. Thank
Well, I
you.
can see what kind of show this is gonna be. First two, but
Tone, what's up?
introduce yourself.
I got
to
you.
us, man.
I got your back, bro.
Thank
Introduce
you, man.
yourselves to us, man, and tell us just real brief for the folks that's listening. What is the Deaf Fresh Show? While we're here on this
Well,
first podcast,
I am Young Fresh.
Young
and
Fresh in the building.
You have not been young.
I'm
for
sorry.
doing
Well,
this.
I mean, it's the name. I'm younger than you.
You are. You're younger than Tone Fresh.
Right.
Okay.
I have many aliases.
And you guys are brothers, right?
We're happy. We're singing, and we're colored.
That's what's up.
Give me a high
I
five.
too.
I too.
There we go. Air hugs. That's what's up.
I too.
So go ahead.
All right. It is me, super producer, CEO of TDR, one half of the spectacular Deaf Fresh Show, who is currently on the What Is Love tour right now. So make sure you check us out on all streaming platforms. That's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever else you listen to your podcast at.
Wow.
She plugged.
No, I'm not mad at that. What is the
That's what's up.
What is the Love
Premise?
Tour?
Yeah.
What's the premise of
Yeah,
it?
what's the premise of Love Tour?
What's the premise of it?
Sure.
Because everybody says they want love, but nobody knows what love is.
Mm-hmm.
I like
So
that.
today we're gonna talk about the love of basketball.
That's awesome. So what's the premise of y'all show though? Just so our
Organized
listeners
chaos.
know. Organized chaos. Right.
No, I mean honestly though, music, pop culture. Occasionally we have some real conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of comedy.
Well,
Yeah. I listened to the show a couple times, and y'all be clowning,
Yeah.
but y'all the jokes be funny. So
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I've
watched,
checked a couple shows.
Yeah, I've watched before, and I think I was playing one of the what is it when you're I was playing an antagonist because Tone's brother. Tell us your name again. I'm sorry.
I
Fresh.
am Fresh.
Young Fresh.
Or would you prefer to call me Pod God?
No one.
Whichever one. Fresh. So Fresh is
They
a
always
big,
pick Fresh.
Fresh is a big wrestling fan, and I used to be at one time. So I noticed the direction he was going in on that show, and I just started typing random stuff in the chat like Warrior sucked, and he did.
No, don't.
Hogan
we don't disagree with that.
Hogan
don't
sucked.
speak
We don't
bad
get he
about my
did.
dog.
You only like
I
him
love
because
Warrior.
he's comedy gold.
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that's all he was.
But like,
He is what happens when peyote becomes legal.
he's my spirit.
He is a spirit animal.
Now he is.
Now he is.
Now he is, right?
That went dark.
And so, checking them out is definitely
Entertaining.
something to do,
Yeah.
entertaining TV mature audience. So, that's really dope if you can.
NSFW, just
yeah.
gonna let you know that right now.
And so we're happy to kind of connect with a fellow podcast network here in the TDR family and talk
Exactly.
NBA.
Yes, we are. Usually around this time we do the injury report, but lucky for us, there's been no significant injuries that are something to really bring to the front for. So let's give
a round of applause. People not hurting themselves this week.
You know what? You're right. You are right. I mean, besides COVID still sweeping the nation, and everybody's still getting these NBA what'd you call them, Dre?
Stimulus checks.
Stimulus checks.
Yeah,
besides that, there's been nothing really to report, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the NBA has stimulus checks with these 10-day contracts?
I watched a Laker game. I was like, no, COVID is so crazy. So I think LeBron was at the free throw line, and like they zoomed in on like he has some obscure number that they don't even hand you out in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like who picks like number 36? Like who picks it? I was like, who is? Hit on Facebook like, hey, who is this guy? Like, is COVID that bad? And they signing people out the stands.
And the word of Kesey, Michael, who?
Exactly. I mean, it is what it is, but it's better than them shutting it down.
Agreed. 100%.
So it's either you sign Stanley in row 3, seat 12, or you get this guy who's been retired for 3 years, and we know somewhat of his.
Bro, Joe Johnson is
exactly
getting a check.
So do you think that cats go to Utah Jazz games just to fulfill their hoop dream?
Gotta be.
Like that one dude who been hooping all his life on the playground.
This is really all Rudy Gobert's fault.
How?
I'm blaming him.
I blamed him last year. I blamed him last year.
COVID,
he thought it was a joke.
He thought it was a joke. He got in there. He rubbed all on the mic. And then next thing you know, him and Donovan Mitchell got it.
And now Rudy has had it twice now.
And at that time we didn't even know what COVID was. So everybody in the world, we scared for Donovan Mitchell. Like, bro, you might die.
Dog out here killing Donovan Mitchell.
Right around playoff time.
Imagine how you kill Donovan Mitchell around playoff time. They never forgive you.
Yeah, dog, you go down in history for the wrong reason.
Listen, and he has it again. He's in protocol.
He's in protocol right
now. And so.
Well, in his defense, though,
there is no defense.
Anybody can get it right now. Like you can be double vaccinated with a couple of boosters, and you still could get it.
Well, I rebuke you. No, I'm
like that's just how
anybody can get it. Anybody can get it, but the fact that he's had it twice is just like it's just a little funny, a little ironic.
Yeah.
We're just gonna call this next batch the hands because anybody can get it.
He was the harbinger. He brought it to the league.
Literally, he actually, if y'all don't know if y'all remember. But he took his hands and he waved them in Donovan Mitchell's hair. Like right before, like literally a day before the shutdown came. But I think that'll teach people to do better because again, man, we can't play with it. The NBA went to the bubble, had that old awkward championship, another, LeBron did his thing, but nobody wants bubble basketball anymore. No one wants that.
Yeah, because watching TV during that time was terrible when the only way to get a good game was watching people playing NBA 2K.
Exactly.
Like I called him like, bro, do you understand that right now?
I mean,
there's a 2K tournament on ESPN in prime time.
In people's houses.
Yeah.
Saying we were blessed to be able to even get the Bulls special early because of
COVID.
That started early.
That's one of the benefits of it is they had to push stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
But besides that, it was just watching, like you said, 2K. The whole sound thing of fans in the crowd is hilarious to me.
Literally.
Hey, you think the Harlem Globetrotters still out here making money?
They did. They just can't. They just here at the Pfizer Forum.
Okay, listen.
They were just at the Pfizer Forum.
Was that on the docket? Because I feel like we're finna go down a rabbit hole.
Wait a second.
Wait
a second.
It just dawned on me.
Wait a second.
It just dawned on me. Like, can they eat? Are they eating?
Jeff Fresh.
I didn't
we got an order.
Listen. The Harlem Globetrotters are not the NBA. Okay?
This basketball.
No. Let's talk NBA.
I was just wondering. My bad.
Plugged the show.
My bad.
We didn't even do wrestling in here, and now you want to talk about the Globetrotters.
I was just wondering.
You, sir, are on the timeout.
Okay. Right. And he usually always blaming me for taking
You know what? It's usually his Fresh. I've seen the show. It's usually Fresh. Sean got to will it back in. Like, hey,
no, because it just dawned on me. Like, we talking basketball.
Let's will it back in.
No, because it just dawned on me. Like, we talking basketball. We had the bubble and everything. Like, fam, was they able to eat, though? Like I'm concerned about them.
How many points did the Globetrotters average in the NBA finals?
Like 2. That's all you needed.
No.
In history, though, they actually was supposed to be in the NBA, but they were entirely too good during the white man's league.
You know what? the Globetrotters.
So we're gonna go down this rabbit hole.
We're not gonna go down.
We done after
We're not
this.
gonna go down. I'm
We
just
done
gonna say
after this.
this: the Globetrotters are very cool for family entertainment.
Right.
It is a great show to take your family to. They come to Milwaukee every New Year's
They
Eve.
did. They was just and
And they had a sellout crowd, a
Okay.
mass sellout crowd. So I enjoy watching them from an entertainment base, but
I was just wondering if was they able to eat during bubble years. That's all.
I mean,
don't
I guess
know.
if you put them under show business, and probably
No,
not.
no.
Yeah,
because
that's
they
what I'm
use-
saying.
Probably
It
not.
just made me think.
Probably not.
All right, let's get back to real
Go ahead,
NBA
bro.
You
now.
see how we still
No,
here?
I'm just now. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if
See?
they came to the last 2 years. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Back
see?
into it. Back into
Okay.
it. I mean, it's
See?
started
My
about
bad.
it.
That's what I would.
This is
Still
what
here.
you get when you watch the Death Fresh show, people. We apologize ahead of schedule.
Don't apologize because we do that on the show all the time.
Exactly.
We
Especially
talked
my
about
man to my
Antonio Brown last week.
exactly. Especially my man to the left. Anyways,
So since we here,
Mario Chalmers. Mario Chalmers signed a 10-day contract with the Miami Heat last week and received no playing time. I'm not surprised, but it's the reason I bring this up is because Dre was capping for him.
does he still get paid?
So
He still got paid. He still got a stimulus check
So here's the thing, people. If you listen to the episode last week, the only thing I was wrong about was Lance Stevenson, who had a killer one game. I said
games.
2 games, fine. I said
Double-double.
last week, but he's the only player that the Pistons said they're keeping long term, I believe.
Pacers, yeah.
Pacers, thank you. Last week on the show, I said all of these stimulus checks are players to help make sure you have enough people on the roster so you can actually play a game without a cancellation.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like Miami's loyalty to Mario Chalmers. I said that, and I believe that Miami is still looking for that solid backup point guard. But again, we don't expect Mario Chalmers to come. I don't expect him to come and have an impact on the game.
I thought he would at least get some type of playing time just based on the fact that you just said that. The way y'all shrugged y'all shoulders, I know y'all don't care.
Mm-mm.
I didn't know. Like, out of all the free agents, Mario Chalmers is on the bottom of the list. I'm calling. I'd have went and got somebody out the G League before I called Mario Chalmers.
But like he said, though, that's that brand loyalty. Like he is
how loyal?
family.
How loyal am I? Because I gave you some money.
Look, bruh.
Because if I sign you to this team, that must mean I need your help.
He may.
I
be,
didn't.
He
I'm
may
not
be there
fa-
for moral support.
I'm not.
We need.
That's
We need
what
numbers.
cheerleaders are for.
We need numbers, and we need leadership.
That's
Y'all,
what-
he could be in the locker room just
Moral support is the
All
halftime
day.
show.
10 days. That's all we need you for.
I just thought it was like I thought it was surprising. I thought he would get some clock, and he got no clock.
Maybe he said he didn't want no clock.
Well,
Then he just really got a stimulus check. I just want to sit around.
Here's the thing, man. Fresh said, so you got to remember this point in the league, and Miami, they're competing for a championship. They will be in that Final Four when we're talking about the Eastern Conference. They won't win. They won't beat the Bucks. They won't beat Chicago. But Miami is trying to play for a championship. Right now, they're signing players just to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
No one signed
Udonis Haslem for that.
Well, he's their bully. We talked about that too.
He's there. He's there already.
He's their dog. He's their dog. Well, plus PJ. I don't believe the Miami Heat signed Mario Chalmers with the expectations that he will be a championship contender. But he is a guy that can still play that backup point guard role. He's played no minutes. He played no time because they don't need him to right now. They just need that roster spot so they can go out and say, we're going to play the Bucks and we're ready to play. Or we don't have to cancel or forfeit all these games. That's all this is.
Look,
Okay.
he
I get that.
just happy to be
stimming.
back.
I see that too.
No, that's his actual word. The best part of it is just being back.
Mm-hmm.
So he just happy to be back.
That's a real loser.
Yeah.
That's a real loser.
Bro, he has
loser way to
Achilles
think
heel
about it.
injury, dog.
I know.
This is like I came back from the most traumatic thing that ever happened to me. Now I'm back in the league. He just want to have his swan song.
I guess.
That's all.
So Isaiah Thomas signed a 10-day contract with the Dallas Mavericks after ending his 10-day contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, and first he had COVID, so let's start there. So that's a couple games.
Wait a minute, how many 10 days is this now? 5.
This is his 5.
Yeah,
So
like-
he's already been out of
How
5.
much-
Like at what point in time did we cut it off? Like, bro, you
How
just,
much is this
you
10-day
got your cap.
contract worth?
You know what? I don't know. I've never seen the
It's
actual numbers.
probably bare NBA minimum, which is like 300, 500K.
For 10 days? It can't be that much.
Yo, you
No, I'm sorry. Maybe 30, 40,
You give me 50, give me 500.
30, 40,
50.
50. Exactly. So
So
you
according to this, the salary for 10-day contracts are about 150,000. I'll take it.
150,000.
That ain't bad.
I'll take
Okay.
it.
So
I'll take
these
it.
so these 10-day contracts are big stimulus checks, and I want one too. I want one.
Hey man, how tall are you?
I'm about 6'2",
6'2"?
but NBA 6'3". I can stretch.
Right, get in shape.
You know what?
Just
I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna see what you're talking about.
send out some tapes, man.
Exactly. I'm
Because apparently they hiring people from row E.
from the big three, from the Harlem Globetrotters, which is I'm surprised they ain't, but they hiring everybody.
They went out and got curly.
Exactly. This is crazy.
Yep. So it it really depends because it says here Joe Johnson they gave 150,000. Daniel House they gave 111,000. Javon Delaria or D Laurie from the Bucks 53,000.
Who?
Exactly. So I guess it really depends on the player, how long you had in the league and what you're getting. But I mean, for 10 days, they're still making more than what some people make in a year.
Yeah,
In
in
2
in
years.
10 days. You know what I'm saying? And so, but again, it's not about the money. We saw that with the Bucks, or it is about the money in some cases. But a lot of these teams are signing these players
Just to fill spots up.
to fill spots because of COVID. It has nothing to do with running for the title. I think it has something to do with the title signing Boogie. I think it has something to do with the title maybe signing, trying to get Kyrie back. But guys like Chalmers, guys like Lance Stevenson, Indiana's not going to even make the playoffs.
They
So
might.
No, they're not. Them signing him, get us through the season. You know what I'm saying? Put some butts in the seat.
I mean,
Let us be competitive.
Speaking of the Bucks, which is
Kyrie is a special.
we may spend a little time on this. I might have a little rant because
Indeed.
it burned my biscuit to the nice little black crisp. Yeah, it burned my biscuit. DeMarcus Cousins was waived by the Milwaukee Bucks after his 10-day contract. In 17 games with the Bucks, he averaged 9 points a game, about 5.5 rebounds. Now they released him for just to have a roster spot open and so they didn't have to guarantee his contract. The Bucks did sign Langston Galloway, and they signed him, and they signed Jeff DeWinton Jr. to 10-day contracts.
Yo, wait.
Doughton was previously with the Golden State Warriors. He averaged 1.8 a game and 1.5 rebounds a game on a two-way contract. Galloway was previously with the Brooklyn Nets for a 10-day contract, and he averaged 3 points a game, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. I'm gonna let you guys talk about this real because I have a rant because it just pissed me off. And it pissed me off because it brought me back to the strange moves that the Milwaukee Bucks have made over the years where they traded Ray Allen and we got rid of Sam Cassell and stuff like that. And it sounded like more of a business move than a basketball move because even though DeMarcus Cousins is far from who he used to be, 20 and 15, but he's still a guy who can put up numbers. He's a big guy. He's in the paint. And he was probably the best 10-day contract out of everybody in the NBA, to me personally. So for the Bucks to do this, it was just a real slap in the face to the fans, I think, to be honest with you, because the fans liked them. And on top of that, it was one of those things where like, who exactly? It was one of those things where, he was
he's good.
he was there.
Don't flatter him.
He was putting in numbers. So he was putting them numbers, and he was doing his job. He's doing what he's supposed to do. So for them to not to guarantee his contract just because they didn't want to pay the money, and then to sign these two guys who didn't get even close.
Well,
what he's getting.
Not to cut you off, but I feel like you just answered your own rant in like the first 3 sentences. Basketball is what?
A business.
And I feel like there are more people at the top of basketball that are business oriented as to opposed of those who are fans and understand what needs to be on the court in order for us to win.
As true as that is, As true as that is.
Like everybody ain't a Pat Riley. Everybody ain't
That's
a
true.
Danny Ainge. You got people in suits who don't. It's just like when I watch wrestling. There are people in suits who don't have absolute no idea of the product.
You're
what we need.
fired.
Right? Like you don't know. Like
That was for you, Fred.
That's a whole-
yeah,
that's a
but
whole
it's
nother
the truth though. Like you got
You know
all
what?
these people
That's a
in.
whole nother conversation.
You got all these people in suits who probably ain't never played basketball.
Right.
A day in their life, you wasn't on your pee-wee team. You didn't play in high school. You didn't go to college. Like you don't have any idea of what they go through on this court to get a championship.
But you got a bachelor's in business.
You
And,
got
Right.
you good at business analyst.
Right. So you know, I know what it takes to fill this building,
You-
but I don't know what it takes to win this championship.
And the first question they're gonna ask is how many fans truly came for just Cousins? And we ain't talking the subs.
So
Nah.
so let me tell you like this, guys. You also have to remember that when the Bucks cut DeMarcus Cousins, we have 4 players in COVID protocol: George Hill,
yeah.
Grayson Allen,
Mm-hmm.
Pat Connaughton, and now Drew Holiday. They signed these 2 players again for roster spots.
Right.
They are not going to sign long-term contracts. If they do, John Horst might get that side eye for real because we have to trust him as our GM. He delivered us a championship. He brought in PJ Tucker for half the season. He retained Bobby Portis. He got Giannis his supermax. He traded for Holiday. He paid Middleton. He brought in Grayson Allen. So he's made a lot of great moves as a GM for our franchise. So we have to trust that he knew what he was doing. I hated to see DeMarcus Cousins go, especially the night he had 15 and 10.
Yeah, that,
He had 15 and he had a
that-
double-double to be fired the same night. That's like me saying, Zeke, man, you did a great today, man. You caught this. You brought in $1 million, but we still going to let you go.
that means
You know
that
what
they-
I'm saying? Like,
because that
what?
means at the end of the day, no matter what he did, they already had plans on not renewing it.
Well, they said it.
He said it. He said in the statement, he was like, he helped us out when we needed it. I'm sure we helped him out, and they did.
Yeah, now he has value again.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
He was picked up right away.
That's very true. I can see that.
He was
Like,
picked up right away.
like we gave you some shine. We put you out here on the court. Now it's up to you to produce with this opportunity that we give you
Right.
because this is not a long-term deal. So go get your money somewhere
Yeah,
else.
so they could have had that conversation. It's just we as Bucks fans are just upset because we watched him start the NBA. We seen him when he had his fall. Now here's your chance to come back, and you're coming back with us when we're on this roller coaster for our second ring. Like Dre said, we going 2-peat.
I would have liked to see,
but I would have liked him to be there with us.
I 110% agree. I would have liked to see DC on that roster competing for a title, but we have to see what our GM has in mind because the trade deadline is coming up soon. All-Star break is coming up soon, and the Bucks right now.
We don't need none though.
Well, hold tight. I
don't
watched
know.
the game against Brooklyn, and I saw some things that as a fan that I didn't like. And as a Bucks fan, y'all, I can be hard on our team.
Real hard on our team, but go ahead.
That's because he cares.
Thank you.
That's what it is.
That's because he
Wait a
cares.
second.
Well, and he's a season ticket holder. Apparently, that's
With
important.
great
too.
seat said that.
That's
You know
exactly
what I'm saying?
why
With
he
great
cares.
seat said that. So here's what I'm saying.
Give somebody a plug. Go ahead.
I can't stand you. So you think about what the Bucks are building here, right? You think about everything that we've gone through in terms of a team. Giannis with that second unit against Brooklyn, it was terrible. It was terrible.
That's true.
It was terrible. And so now the Bucks can see and experiment with these open roster spots to see who would best come in and complement. Because God forbid Giannis has to go back in protocol. Middleton has to go back in protocol. Who do the Bucks have to depend on? So right now, doing that cut of Boogie, although I don't like it, I can see why the Bucks did it. And we just need to trust the process. No pun intended to MB, but we do need to trust the process and know that our GM did his thing.
I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. And usually I'm not on this bandwagon of, oh man, because last year it was get rid of Bud, and da and such and such and such. But this year, I'm out for blood if this don't pan out. Because
I feel you on that.
like Tone said before we got on the mics, he was like, I think Lopez coming back, and that's why they cut him. I'm like,
that's what the rumor
I was
saying.
thinking that too. I was thinking that too, but why not say something? And for us to, I don't know. I guess it's one of the things like, why would you keep us in the dark like this?
Because he probably is on a day-to-day, but he's not good enough to produce like starter quality. He may be only good enough for coming off the bench for like 15, 16 minutes now.
It just, bro.
Because,
you know what?
The type of surgery he had, bro, the one wrong move, one wrong fall, and
one
now
wrong step.
We wheeling him out the building for the rest of his life. So I can see why they being quiet.
I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Shut up.
I just hate
not a Brook Lopez fan.
Until we can get a better center, dog. We got to work with what we got.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, you sign these 2 guards and you get rid of a center. It's like, well, we're trying to fill these roster spots. Someone's like, man, it just brought me back to past mistakes of the Bucks when we trust the process. When what was the slogan like a couple years ago?
Own the future.
Own the future. Like, later for owning the future. I don't want to own the future. I want to look into the 2-peat, the 3-peat, and us being up there with the upper echelon teams.
You don't want to own the future. You want to open the present.
Exactly. I don't want to. Plus Pfizer for him charging too damn much to be trust the future.
You still go there and eat tacos though.
I'm still going to get the tacos.
I did.
I feel like we're there though. Like, when I watch all these sports analyst shows, I like the space that my team is in.
I do like it. We don't have too high expectations, but we're still in the mix.
Right. Like, I feel like when you talk about championship, you gotta talk about the Bucks now.
You do.
Not only because we got one, it's just like I feel like we're good enough now. Like, even before we got the championship, it was like you can't talk about the playoffs without talking about Milwaukee.
That's true.
Now that we got one, you can't talk about the road to the finals unless you're finna talk about Milwaukee.
So we're the Bucks in the 80s again.
Right. If you want a ring, you got to come see Giannis.
That's
if
true.
you beat Giannis, you deserve your ring.
But the problem is you got to beat Giannis. What we need is let's get some more better players coming off the bench so he can at least sit down so we can use him for the 4th. And he ain't exhausted again.
That's when we should probably draft better.
Well, that's where, like you said, trade deadline's coming up. So by trusting the process, we may get those good spots filled that we need. Yeah, of course, we still gonna need 10-day contracts here and there because COVID trying to say come see these hands right now. But until then, we need a good backup. So as much as I love Cousins, we need somebody who can be a good floor general.
And let's not also forget too, as you get closer to the NBA Finals, the NBA All-Star Weekend, and you start preparing for the playoffs. Boogie Cousins has a reputation of being very injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a lot has to be taken into consideration as you're finalizing your roster going into the second half of the season. Because you know what, Chicago's peaking at the right time. Golden State's peaking at the right time.
A little bit.
Phoenix has a chip on their shoulder at the right time, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as KD's in the game, you still have a shot. You know what I'm saying? So there are teams out here that just not going to let the Bucks walk right through. Right, there's a lot of competition out here, and so the Bucks need to use this time to see. Let me test DeMarcus with whomever. Maybe they want to take a shot at Isaiah Thomas. Not saying we should, but to test these different stimulus checks with these players because one will eventually get that final spot. I think the Bucks have one eligible roster spot, one true one.
I think they do.
As long as they don't give it to John Wall, we good.
We would have to trade for him. John Wall is a business.
What's your smoke with John Wall?
Oh, you ain't been listening for the last month, have you?
Hey, okay.
God.
John Wall is, I wouldn't mind.
We don't want him.
We don't want him.
We'll take him if he takes. Let me rephrase it. If John Wall takes a buyout and we sign him to a vet's minimum, fine. We don't owe you nothing. We don't have to guarantee you anything.
He's definitely not worth the $44 million that he making.
He's owed 49 next year. Who wants that? John Wall.
He's not worth it.
Someone asked me yesterday in a business meeting, and it was a joke, but I was half serious. They said, "Who's one of your favorite business people right now?" I said, "John Wall." I said, because John Wall signed a deal 4 years ago and ain't played but 20 games in 5 years. I need that guy.
Yes.
Like, who negotiated that for him?
Who negotiated? Who's his agent? That's what Scottie Pippen needed. Maybe he wouldn't be so depressed right now.
I also feel like John Wall got paid off potential.
He definitely got paid off
and
potential.
They didn't see that injury coming. And then when he got hurt and then he ain't played, and they're like, we can't do nothing about this money we gave.
Nothing, because it's all guaranteed. And here's the thing, too. John Wall he does not want to take a back seat with his current situation. He has no desire to come off the bench. So keep in mind, Wall is ready to play right now. They just can't agree to what his role should be.
Yeah, that's true. He trying to get back on the court. He trying to get back there.
Look, at 44, just let him start. Take him out 5 minutes after the game starts.
John Wall's not that old though, so I understand his mindset
He's
of the fact that I think he's early 30s.
31.
Right.
31.
Right.
I thought he was going to say 35.
No.
He feel like, look, man, this knee is healthy. And y'all see me in the preseason. I still got the 94 feet speed. I'm still John Wall. So he want to play.
I'm not mad if he want to play. I just think, like you said before, because John Wall trips on his shoelace and then he sprains his ankle, it's just one of those things where
also a fact.
You need a better shoe.
That's what happened when you signed with Adidas, but
you need that shoe that ties up around your ankles.
For $44 million, you better learn how to walk on ice. Okay, you better walk real careful.
I mean, but he's in Houston. They ain't going nowhere. Why don't they let him and Jalen Green run the backcourt?
Well,
Kevin Porter ain't getting
because they his arrogance, and plus he's always hurt, and they didn't plan to keep him this long. Especially when he got hurt like last year, they was like, "Oh, we gotta get rid of this."
Maybe
guy.
they should just run a small ball line.
In fact, he was on the market toward the end of last season, but what happened? He got hurt again.
Yeah.
So listen, Houston, that contract sort of reminds me of when the Bucks gave Tim Thomas all that.
They gave
money.
Tim Thomas a contract like that. They got Michael
Michael
Redd contract
Redd.
like
They were
that.
gonna say Glenn
the difference
Robinson.
is though, Mike Redd earned that money. John Wall. Houston
John
had
Wall earned
nothing
that
to.
money.
Houston had nothing. Not Houston.
Washington.
Washington had nothing to prove that Wall earned that money, other than potential and a named player that could potentially play with Bradley Beal that will put fans in the seat.
That's what
he didn't play enough games for them to judge him on that kind of contract because he was hurting Washington.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I'm saying? So
the only way,
at the end of the day,
John Wall can make this right is he needs to be donating his money.
and John Wall's probably a great dude off the court, like many of the players are, but we're not talking about
he scammed Washington.
Man, he got over big. And then now he in Texas with no state taxes. He really winning. You know what I'm saying? So he's winning.
I mean,
he winning.
If he healthy, I'm going to just
put him in.
Go small ball. He can run the 1, Kevin Porter at the 2, Jalen Green at the 3, and then you figure out where you put Christian Wood, and then you give him extra body on the court.
So Christian Wood is actually the face of the franchise. So that wouldn't quite
going
work.
towards
He's
the future.
He's the face of the franchise. But to your point, that's not the issue. The issue is that Wall wants to be a starter. The management wants him to be like a player's coach,
a mentor.
Come off the bench, come in the game, help talk. But he's like, nah. I want to be a starter, and I'm gonna be honest with you. For $44 million, he need to be starting, playing OT and on weekends.
I mean,
actually,
but like I was saying earlier, at 31, because you look at it like he's not that old. He feel like he's healthy.
Basketball years, that's old though, bro.
Right, but.
That's
we know
prime.
we call it old.
That's prime.
That's prime.
But
actually,
like,
that's prime.
That should be prime years for some people. Like if he was healthy his entire time in Washington, at 31, you'd be like, all right, John Wall in his prime, he still can go.
Yeah.
I mean, because LeBron is what, almost 40 and still cooking people.
37.
Ooh, nice transition.
That is a nice transition.
37.
Is a nice
37.
transition.
And you know what? Our boy isn't here, and I'm not gonna call him. But when it comes to LeBron, you know what?
Fan.
I haven't heard your take yet, so let me. But when it comes to LeBron,
he's a fan.
LeBron can do no wrong, and I'm a LeBron guy. And when he's wrong, he's wrong. But when Keith is here, listen, Keith will fight you about LeBron James or Lebanon James is what he calls him. He will fight you. If you listen, America. If you go back and listen to last week's podcast. The way Kesey was coming at our lives about LeBron, he was offended.
You thought he was
What did y'all say about LeBron?
Man, we're just spitting facts.
We just spitting facts. Just talking about what's going on, what everybody else talking about.
He's not being blamed for some of the Lakers' woes, and he should be.
He is.
That's all we were saying.
He's old, bro.
And he was offended. We love you, bro, but the truth shall set thee free.
I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me he's old.
LeBron's old.
If you're old, don't play. If you gonna say, my back hurt, then don't play.
So the thing about saying you old, it's the difference between when you old and you can't play no more. Be like, all right, man, well, it's time for you to step
That's
away.
different.
But when you
You
old,
okay? What you looking for?
Water.
you still putting up
behind.
numbers. It's one of those things
I
where
was used to the fridge.
I know. I moved.
it's used to the. So like when LeBron, like when he's hurt, he's old. He's old. But when LeBron balling like he is now, there's hands clap. Yeah, he can't
yourself a
FIFA all the
hand.
time. But so it's one of those things where you can't really people sitting here. That's the thing about Kesey. He's a fan. Just like Dre is a fan of Curry. Curry can't do no wrong.
That's not true.
Curry can't do no wrong. So, I'm the only non-fan here out of the three of us.
Stop.
Who's my fan?
Stop.
Who am I a fan of?
You a Giannis fan?
The Dallas Cowboys.
That's
Okay.
okay.
Oh, this-
You make bad
This
life
is basketball. This is basketball,
Let me
okay?
tell you something.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about this is basketball. We're talking about football.
First of all, Steph Curry had nothing to do with this conversation. So you need to bring him into it.
I felt like he was just making a broad point about being fans of people.
Did y'all rehearse before this show or something?
No, these are just facts. These are just facts.
That's a fact.
They're
So,
the
so,
same-
so the
not-
bottom line is,
same people.
That's like Tone was a Knicks fan.
That was a very toxic relationship.
let me tell y'all something.
Oh, he had to take the mask
He
off.
took the mask off.
Well, while I'm drinking water. So let me tell y'all something. When it comes to Steph, one thing about me
Mm-hmm.
compared to my brothers, and I'll
Mhm.
give Zeke this, he can be objective.
Thank you.
I can be objective in sports. These
point.
guys, and
To
Tone's
a
my
point.
shh, don't make me unplug your mic. I did that before now. Tone is my witness. These guys rode my back when I was criticizing the Bucks. You remember that?
This is true, sir.
I
Now-
never said. Hold up, let me
Go ahead,
finish.
let me
I
let you
never
finish.
said that I didn't believe in my Bucks.
You did.
I said at one point Giannis was selfish.
You
His
did.
ball IQ. This was last year. I said his
It was
ball
last
IQ
year.
was questionable,
You did.
and it was at the time. And I said the Bucks at the time wasn't doing enough to convince me to be a title. Bro, they threw me under the bus like I was just a bad guy. But when it comes to LeBron, Keith has no objective opinion about it.
So, as an objective fan,
Go ahead.
Mhm.
you can admit that Golden State and Steph Curry, they were in a pretty bad situation last year.
Oh, I said it. If it wasn't for Steph, they would have been a lottery team.
Okay.
I absolutely said it. I'm not even a Golden State fan. I just like Steph Curry, who up until last week was, in my opinion, was the reigning MVP. Now it's Giannis, right? Up until last week, it was Steph. All I'm saying is Steph Curry and LeBron both. Steph is a how did I call it? He is a life-changing player.
yeah.
He
okay.
is in terms
Once
of
in a
the
generation.
NBA. Oh,
Once in a-
thank you.
once
A
in a
once in a
generation.
lifetime player, as is LeBron. But at the end of the day, Steph got blamed for a lot of what happened to Golden State. No one has yet to blame GM LeBron for putting together this Lakers team. That's all I'm saying.
Who hasn't?
No one has blamed GM LeBron.
I definitely think that LeBron keep making these messes, and then he makes a mess.
Casey, if you call in, bro.
Because I got a homie that, and we he called me every once in a while. We talk basketball because he's a LeBron fan.
Uh-huh.
It's like I respect everything Bron is doing,
Right.
and I don't knock it. Like
LeBron
he
is the
the
second greatest player in
he
the
the king
NBA.
of the NBA right now. Like best player on the planet, still LeBron at 37 years old. But I want people to understand, like LeBron be making these messes. Like you got to LA, and because you wanted to bring prestige back to the Lakers, you're traded. Whether you physically did it or you had influence, but you swapped all of the young players out, which I feel that y'all could have just got better around the best player in the game. But you swapped all of your young talent for a piece of glass, because that's exactly what AD is.
No, hold on a second.
That, my
Hold on a
friends,
second. Thank you.
is a hot.
You might have just found yourself a permanent spot on 94 feet.
Well, I don't know about that, but we appreciate that.
No,
we appreciate that.
Hold on.
We
I would
appreciate
not,
that.
I would not allow you to fire that man that normally sits in his seat
Listen,
without
we can't fire him
contract
because he helped pay the bill.
Hey,
right.
hey, that's-
Because I was like,
Hey, that's
this
a
man
fourth
don't,
spot. That's a fourth
this
spot.
man don't pay bills, okay? And we got a business to run over here.
That's a fourth spot, because when I say this stuff, I'm the villain. I'm the hater. Man, see,
I don't
you
feel-
can't
I don't
tell
feel
me
like
you're
I'm
proud of
hating
LeBron.
on Bron. I just like
It
This
is what it is. You
this
can
is what-
see.
this
You
is
can
what
see.
he
That's all you can
did
do. He
when
can
he
see.
was in Cleveland.
You're looking at me. I'm always hard on
Like
Bron.
I'm about to
he
call
was in
Kesey up right
Cleveland,
now. I'm gonna call Kesey right
Go
now.
call him.
and you said,
He ain't
"Well,
feeling
I'm
good.
coming back," and then you came back, and now you got Andrew Wiggins shipped out of here.
Oh man.
You got Andrew Wiggins traded for Kevin Love,
At the time, it was a great move. So
At the time.
here's what
At the
Zeke,
time.
Here's what
but I
Zeke
feel
said.
like you get with Bron, and then whatever you were before you got with LeBron, now you underachieving. Kevin Love was a double machine in Minnesota.
We just
just
said
said
this
that.
last week.
Let me tell you.
Anthony Davis was the man in New Orleans. And now you playing with the best. Now so does that mean are
I'm
you
about to
not as
break this
good?
button all this clapping I'm
Are
doing.
you not as good as you look? Because when you was in New Orleans playing with a bunch of nobodies and scrubs, you a 30-point man. You 30 and 15.
So here, everything you're saying,
It's
we
true.
talked about last
we
week.
talked about
and
last
we
week.
agreed. So
Well, two of us did.
two of us did. The only thing I disagree with what you just said, Anthony Davis should be commanding to be the best player right now in LA. In fact, LeBron was going to take that back seat to Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis did it to himself. For the sake of being repetitive, we won't go there. But to your point, Zeke said last week, and Keith has said this. We'll give him credit. Keith has said this. It takes a special kind of player to play with LeBron.
That's
because
true. Yeah,
after LeBron and Kevin Love experiment, Kevin Love career has never been the same.
Bro,
I
Kevin
forgot-
Love
I
is
forgot-
coming off the bench.
I
It
forgot
has
all
never
about
been
him
the
until
same.
you just said his name right now.
It has never been the
Kevin
same.
Love, Brian,
Kevin
he
who?
he's suited to come off the bench in Cleveland because they got this youth movement going
They do.
on.
They
They
do.
do.
So he
They do.
found his role again and he comes
Right.
off the bench.
Westbrook woes we can't put on LeBron. We can't because
No,
he's
Bron finna get everybody traded.
so Zeke talked about
That's a lot of
LeBron is
moving.
what 37.
Yep.
He's the
Yeah,
oldest
30.
player in the NBA, right?
Yeah, he's
And-
the oldest player in the NBA history to have 10 straight 25-point games, which surpasses Michael Jordan, who did it when he was 35.
And again, here's why I'm not impressed by that. There is no
What?
doubting. I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
There is no doubting LeBron's skill set. But when you're the only one on that terrible Lakers roster that has to do everything,
25
that
is
stat is
normal.
easy. That stat is easy. There's no AD. Westbrook probably had 8 or 9 turnovers, which he
Mhm.
says is okay. I hope y'all heard him say that.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's not, but Russ
did. He
thinks
said
it's okay. You have all these bench players not scoring anything. You got DeAndre Jordan scoring 2 points, as Kesey got on his case last week. So when you're the only one on the team and you're still being billed as the greatest player, these are things we shouldn't be honoring. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Bro, my man Fresh just said, at 37, LeBron is still the best player. While I somewhat disagree with you, if that is true to what my man's just said, this is what you're supposed to do when
That's
your
a
team
fact.
sucks.
That's
Okay.
a fact. But
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's right because I feel like if I'm the best player on this team and we suck,
Uh-huh.
40 a night should be easy. You want to know why? Because I'm
Oh,
taking
'cause
all the shots.
40 a night is what
40
you
a
should be
night
getting.
is in my sleep because who else shooting the ball but me?
25 should be the minimum. That's all I'm saying.
25 should be an off night. I should be getting 50 every rep.
I mean, once you say it like this, I will say it does make sense. It does make sense when you guys put it the way you just
So
put it.
You just took his moment from him. LeBron's, 10, 25 don't
I
mean
mean,
nothing.
I'm not
'Cause
saying
that's what it sounded like.
Look.
Because when Mike got hit, he had a whole squad.
I was just gonna.
Wait.
Why
Why you gotta go there?
Why-
Wait a minute.
You
Wait.
know what?
You know what's
Why
funny?
you gotta go there?
Hold on,
That's his
like,
button.
Why you gotta go
What's
there?
You know what
squad
time-
did Mike have? Mike played with some dogs too.
Listen,
It was just well dressed.
I'm saying, right? Bro, Mike did it when Scotty got hurt. Mike
He did it when
carried
he was
that
35.
franchise,
He
too.
did it when he was
He
35.
was doing
though.
35. We was gonna Washington Wizards the years you don't want to talk about.
The league was rougher back
listen,
then.
No one listen. The Wizards years never happened, right?
You pressed that button on
let-
purpose.
I
listen,
did.
let me tell you something.
That's his.
Let me tell you something.
That's Dre's button.
That's Dre's
Dre's
button.
button is Jordan.
It's Jordan.
I don't have a button, but his button is Jordan. Kesey's is LeBron.
When you're
It's only fair because if Kesey was here, that's exactly what he would have did.
that's exactly
I,
what we did.
I also feel like LeBron is going about this shit ass backwards sometimes. Now,
Explain.
if I was Bron,
Mhm.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I feel like you go out and then you get these players who, like, I feel like he's in love
His
with what
buddy.
he saw y'all do.
His buddies.
His friends.
He
Right,
do
like
get
you-
a lot of his friends.
You go out and you cool. Like your friends suck, fam. Stop hiring your friends. You can't hire your friends.
You can't always pick up your friends for
I
21.
just feel like he should go out and like you should have got players who like weren't there but were almost there.
Yeah.
So you go out and you go get players who, in my opinion, you peaked. Anthony Davis will never be what he was in New Orleans, no matter where he goes.
Hey, y'all.
Westbrook.
1 second, Fresh. 1 second. This guest host is making it real hard for some of y'all to come and sit in that next guest host seat.
Okay.
I'm just
you know
saying,
what?
man.
You right.
Fresh is,
I just,
Like he's showing out today.
Sean, why you lie on him, bro?
He
He's
told
showing out.
lie.
You lie on him.
First of all, no, I did not.
So why you lie on
Told
him?
lie. He didn't say Fresh is gonna come like this.
And
Okay.
I didn't.
And-
She
Look,
said, Tone got me holding the mic now.
look.
Tone was like,
and I don't
did-
believe
I-
I've swore yet. Either.
I tell you what. I tell him one thing. If you gonna be calling yourself pod God, you gotta prove
I
it.
got a pod.
hey, listen, I love it.
But-
Listen, bro.
For
Go
real.
ahead, finish.
I do think that like he's going about it all wrong. Like you get all these players who didn't peak, in my opinion. Like Kevin Love was Kevin. He was already Kevin Love,
20 and 20 double
and then
double.
you went and got him. It's like no, we declined it. So I think you should go get players who haven't hit their peak yet, but you can see them on the rise. Like if he was to go and play with like Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is good, but imagine where Zach LaVine gonna be in 3-4 years from now.
So it's funny you mentioned that because one of the things that I think as a LeBron fan, I think LeBron is the second greatest player to ever play the game of basketball.
The worst GM since Michael Jordan.
Facts.
He's terrible.
Facts.
Here-
Because
here's-
I just read my bad. I'm
No, you
sorry.
good.
But it peaked because I just read that. So you didn't really want Kwame Brown. You wanted Elton Brand. But you had the first pick in the draft.
So here,
What are you
I-
doing?
here's my problem with LeBron and KD and others. They are crippling these franchises for years to come because these teams are trading away their future. They're trading away their young core.
Unless you're Oklahoma City.
And OKC has drafts for days, right?
Yeah, so they're gonna be all right.
But look at I haven't followed him lately, but look how Kyle Kuzma's game changed when he left the Lakers.
That's true too.
Look how Ball's game changed when he left the Lakers.
I hate Kyle Kuzma.
You know what I'm saying? But their games
I hate-
adapted.
I hate
They
Lonzo
adapted.
Ball.
But
So-
Kyle Kuzma's showing out in Washington.
He
It
is.
is.
And the story of greatness that I believe, I'm not going to use the word tarnish because that's a tough word. But in the story of greatness, when it comes to LeBron's legacy, other than ring chasing and building these super teams and being the author of the super teams of his era, it will be you never made anyone better because you traded them all away.
That is a fact.
Mm.
Like
That will be the
Just-
thing
but
about his
just
legacy.
look at the
Hold on, wait a
evolution
minute.
of Brandon Ingram.
But wait, hold on. Let's stop here for a minute. Maybe the fact that them people left is the reason why they're getting better. The pressure of LA could definitely be heavy because
Or just playing with LeBron in general.
or just I was getting there. Or just the pressure of LA a lot because that's history.
Mm.
So you are at one of the oldest teams in the league, and you got all this history. You walk into that stadium every day. You look at the rafter. You see greatness every time you come in. So you got that pressure. Then you got LeBron. The fact that they are going to these other teams where they can now stretch their wings, take some of that pressure off the shoulder, and just go out here and ball might be the best thing that's happening to them.
I also feel like LeBron takes the fun out of basketball.
He does. He's too serious.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about it like this.
Yeah.
Before LeBron said, I'm going to LA,
Mm-hmm.
LA was a very young team. They weren't winning many games.
They weren't.
But we having fun.
Good-
We're
good to
growing
watch.
together.
But with that being said, going back to what Tone said, in a city like LA, because
But think about it,
no
eh,
offense, but New York is used to losing.
But
Yeah.
think about it like
Los
this.
Angeles is
Told you.
they
Toxic
just
relationship.
started
Toxic relationship.
losing. So like when Kobe was there, it was like, well, we losing, but we seeing Kobe every night, so we're not
Right.
complaining about it. And plus, the roster he has around him is terrible. So, but when you go to LA, they have a standard, and getting this
That's
first
very-
number one draft pick,
That's,
and
it's very true.
yeah,
We're not living up to the standard, but there is like that standard is there. And if you let us grow together, maybe we'll reach it. You bring in LeBron because LeBron has had championships.
yeah.
He didn't put this pressure on these young kids who ain't even been together long enough to understand
A year.
what dynamic what just happened when LeBron walked into this locker room.
That's true.
So we go from okay, we won 20 games this year.
Mhm.
But let's see what we did in these 20 games that we experimented with. Okay, maybe BI, you run the point. Or, maybe we put Kuzma in this situation so he gets better.
Yeah.
Then LeBron comes in, he changed that whole dynamic because now it's no longer let's experiment and grow together. It's we need to win because I'm LeBron James.
I agree with that, but also with it's hard to because what you're asking for from fans and people in the suits, you asking from people in the suits too to be patient. And in Los Angeles and big markets like that, because they not spending millions, they spending millions. They like, I don't have time to wait. I don't have time.
I need results.
I want you to timestamp this. I want everybody to remember this episode.
All right, please.
Because of what you just said, and then when Oklahoma put all of it together with Shea, and they get somewhere, because that's how we're gonna grow.
Well, that's
we gotta let me grow.
Ahead. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
That's how OKC started anyway. OKC and Golden State really built through the draft.
Right.
Golden State didn't need KD. That was a weak move. KD went to them. I remember several years ago, I don't know if you were there, Zeke, the then GM, John Hammond, I hosted a Bucks party.
I remember that name.
And John Hammond came to the party and he said, the city of Milwaukee needs to be patient as we own the future. And we're like, well, John, we've been owning the future forever.
We booed him.
But he said, good teams, especially small market teams, you have to build through the draft. And if you get that one star, you build around them. That's what OKC did with KD. They couldn't figure out the Russell experiment.
Oh, they had a
that's what. Remember,
right?
Golden State at one time they didn't plan for Steph to be their franchise. No, it was Monte Ellis to be their franchise. They gave the Bucks the chance to take Steph, but we were afraid of ankle Steph at that time.
Because he had a history of the bad ankles.
But they built that team through the draft, and now they're untouchable. They're unstoppable 3 championships later. So OKC's future is secure. The Lakers won't have that future in terms of a draft part, but the Lakers won't hurt for a star. You might wake up and see Giannis in a Lakers jersey in 4 to 5 years. You might wake up and see the next big star, one of the Ball brothers back in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles will always be a place to attract talent, but it will never be a place that will build a team because no one wants to wait.
They don't need to no more. They got the money that they can bring whoever they need.
I mean,
I just felt like with that crop, they should have been patient, but I understand. It's LA. We need that star. But I don't know, like if I'm a GM, and I've watched teams be patient and this is what you get, I don't know if I'm willing to mortgage my entire future on guys who are already old.
It's all about the money, though.
And it's all about the thought of winning a title. Miami did the same thing. Brooklyn's been doing it for years.
They just did it last.
Brooklyn is a terrible franchise. They did
it out gate.
They did it twice.
They whole purpose.
They did with KD and KG.
Their whole purpose is they're chasing the title. Brooklyn wants to say, I have a title.
Dwight Howard before he ended up in LA. Because they were trying to build.
Brooklyn had the highest payroll in the NBA to get bounced in the first round?
Yes.
They didn't do anything. They had an old KG, an old Paul Pierce, the biggest LeBron hater in the world, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They had an old, who's the other guy?
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson. There was a fourth one. And they had an old Darren Williams who got booted out of Utah, and that team was terrible.
And they were trying to get Dwight Howard.
That team was terrible.
Yeah,
and they did nothing. And so what I would have liked to see from LeBron is I would have liked to see him in his later years play a Jordan Wizards role. Jordan, who played for the Wizards, it was terrible.
He's doing it now.
Say that. Jordan was on the sidelines, coaching, clapping, go out there and get the ball. Bron doesn't do that. Bron tends to make these players frustrated, right? Bron didn't.
He's not making anybody better.
He's not. And that's the thing I think will most hurt his legacy. Bron's the GOAT. So I like Bron.
That's why I don't blame Kawhi for being a Clipper. And I don't want to play with you, fam.
And I wish the NBA was like that again, because this whole play with my friends after we get off the boat.
I think that is the biggest reason why I love Giannis. I saw a story on Facebook, and it was like, I guess KD and Bron.
Oh,
this was
yeah.
during like the summer,
This
like
is summer,
before the
like,
Olympics
this-
or something.
Yeah.
But they was like, it was Melo, and they was just come play with us. Just run full open course, and we train.
Yeah.
Say no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can do this by myself.
Well,
because y'all the ops.
Or my
Yeah.
teammates.
Y'all the ops. Like when we
That-
step on the court, I need to beat all of y'all to get this ring. I don't want to play with y'all, so y'all know
That's the setup.
when I'm in the pose, y'all
That's
gonna
the
go
setup.
left.
Right.
So boom, I'm already on your left to stop. Nah, you don't. I can't play with you.
I'll never forget it. When the Lakers got into it with I think the Houston Rockets, or I don't
Oh,
remember
yeah,
the
yeah,
team.
yeah. Yeah. It was
Ron
easy,
didn't grab his teammate, he grabbed Chris Paul.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
his boy, and they're on separate teams.
Right.
Come
Yeah.
on, man. That is not good for the sport of basketball. Go ahead.
I mean, you're right. I mean, y'all just brought some very interesting points. Took it where I didn't think we would ever get to on this show because Kesey is a LeBron fan, but we got there. And that's always good to hear.
So
from.
cherish this episode
I will.
because he will never.
You gonna
happen.
hear
I
it?
will.
You gonna be upset.
Yeah,
He gonna come back. That's gonna be first thing out of his mouth.
That's gonna be the first thing.
Y'all
out of
let
his
this
mouth.
dude sit about seeing he hate LeBron.
He gonna call the Death Fresh show, and he gonna let y'all have it. When is the Death Fresh show record?
He gonna show up on Saturday night.
Yeah.
He gonna show up Saturday night.
Easy gonna call that show like, wait a minute.
He gonna sit
We
there.
need to have a LeBron segment and go in.
He gonna sit outside at 5:55 outside the door. That way he in without us being here.
We don't hate LeBron.
Waiting for us to walk in.
LeBron is just. I ain't even gonna say he ruining the NBA, but
He's a polarizing figure.
He's
to
the
me.
cha- he's
NBA
changing
is
it.
definitely It's friend friendly. It's friendly. That's the word.
It's friendly. It's true.
friendly is free.
I mean, you say that.
Great
And
job
this
on
is not on the docket, but who else said that this year? Al Harpton. I think that's his name, but he said the same thing this past on a podcast. I forgot the name of the podcast, but he said, the difference between LeBron James and Michael Jordan is like LeBron James has his buddies. He's sunning his buddies. He playing with his buddies. Everybody's so friendly. And then when Jordan played in his era of basketball, they wasn't friends.
Yeah,
They-
your friends was across the court.
Or
yeah,
even if we were friends,
once you
What-
stepped on that
bro,
court,
once we step on the court, I need to
You-
bust your. I'm in you, fam.
exactly. I'm in
You
your
scored
face.
30 points the last 3 games. Now you finna play me 5 points, bro. You get
Exactly.
nothing.
I'm talking
Right.
crazy. I might say something about your mama. It's just gonna get
Yeah,
real
it's
ugly
gonna
out
get
here.
real ugly
It's
out
gonna
here.
get ugly out here.
And then we're gonna go get
but
pizza
then
when we done.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the major difference was, you look at Jordan's era. Jordan stopped Barkley, Ewing, Starks. The reason that
Reggie.
Larry Bird retired. The
Who's-
reason that
who's
Magic
LeBron
Johnson
stopping?
retired. Jordan
Ewing.
took rings away from all these.
He took
people.
it's a lot of great 50s.
LeBron is giving all these people rings because they're coming to play with them. The Dwight Howard, they got a ring because of Bron in the bubble. But move us on because we can go on forever. on this.
Exactly, that's
Move us
true.
on.
So Kyrie made his season debut after 35 games versus the Indiana Pacers,
Oh,
and
We
he
can
had
let-
22 and 4.
We could left this off the list.
You can lift this off the list.
We could left this off the list.
Kyrie Irving.
Time
is
out, time
a
out. Hold on.
distraction.
Why you say that? Why
What's
you
your
say
smoke
that?
with Kyrie?
Let's be honest, Doug. At this point in time, bro, it's just a sideshow.
He
You know
is
what's
a
funny about that? At
distraction.
first, I was like, man, he ain't gonna do nothing, whatever. But he came in, produced right away. And I will
You
say
wanna know-
this
but you want to know why he produced right away?
because he ain't
can't,
played.
he can't go on the
basketball.
road, and he ain't played in a while.
Yeah, but
what-
also check this out.
I was
How-
gonna
how
The,
much-
say-
their big three,
No, he didn't play
Brooklyn
in New
Big
York.
Three, Brooklyn Big Three, is probably the best big three in the NBA.
Wow.
The best big three in the NBA right now, and him not playing at home games.
Who all has
I
big
want,
threes?
huh?
Who all really has big threes right now?
The Bucks got a big three.
Bucks.
And I'm not saying in a bad way, like, but who all has one?
There's
Right
quite
now.
a few.
It's
Let's
quite
see.
a few.
Bucks,
Bucks, LA,
Brooklyn,
Brooklyn,
Golden State,
Golden State.
Chicago.
Eh.
I know Chicago.
I won't say Chicago because
What?
this is these. When you say big three, we're talking about 3 superstars.
Oh, here we go with this again.
But if you oh man, I
Here we go with this
almost said because you're not gonna tell me on any stretch of the
Uh-huh.
planet Earth that Chris Middleton, Andrew Holiday
Yeah.
is a superstar.
All right. that's
They're
fine.
not,
I'll
but
agree
there
with
are
that.
big
I'll-
three. Right. Thank
There are
you.
big
Right,
three.
they're not a big three.
You know what?
are-
With that being said, I'll go back to Chicago. They got a big three.
Miami Heat.
I'll give you that.
Miami Heat has a big three.
Okay.
I'll give
give
you
you
a big 2.5.
2.5 men, like the old Miami Heat.
Bam out of Bayou ain't there.
Kyle, it's Kyle.
He gonna get there.
Big two in the midget.
Phoenix Suns. have a big three.
That's a big two.
No.
Booker.
Who's the third?
Booker, Chris Paul, and
and
what's the big center name?
Aiden?
Ayton is part of their big three.
He played.
I guess in the aspect of the 3 stars of the team.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, because
That's
I'm
what
like,
we're
ain't no way
That's what we're talking about.
Drew Holiday is a superstar
Yeah,
to anybody.
Okay,
But here's the thing, Drew Holiday, and see here's where I have to disagree with you. Drew Holiday is one of the most undervalued
he is.
point guards in this game.
True.
I think he
He's
should
one of
be
the
an
most
all-star.
undervalued.
I think he should be
I'm
an all-star
not
this year just
devaluing
because
him as a
Middleton's been
but
back and forth.
You
Up and
gotta
down.
look at the qualities of what the NBA standards of a superstar is.
Give me 5 point guards that are not superstars better than Drew Holiday.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
Tone.
Give me 5 point guards that aren't named Steph Curry, Chris Paul, that are better than Drew Holiday.
I can't do that, kind sir.
That are
I
not a
can't-
star or
That are better than Drew Holiday.
okay.
That are not-
in
That take over Holiday.
What
Give me 5.
aspects is better than Drew Holiday?
Well, first off, Drew Holiday, in my opinion, is overlooked for defensive.
Because I like John
He's-
Morant, but I don't think John Morant can stop anybody.
That's true.
He's explosive.
That's true.
He's
John
explosive.
Morant is a better John Wall.
What I'm saying is Holiday can play.
Is he
both
not?
ends
Nice
of the court.
callback.
John Morant is a better version of John Wall and a healthier version.
I think he's a better version than Russell Westbrook.
So let's say this: if
That's
you
a
look
good
at
comparison too.
if you look at Holiday, okay, Holiday, many could say the game changed when he stole the ball from Booker. He secured the championship for us in that play.
That's true.
He secured it in that play.
True.
Defensively, give me a better point guard.
No,
Defensively,
I don't.
than
I
Holiday.
don't. I don't think.
I agree with what you're saying because
There's a purpose.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. There's a purpose for why I'm saying that. I'm saying that is because when you look at the Bucks, everybody knows that Giannis is the superstar.
Yes.
We
Right.
know that. But these superstars have to be complemented with stars to make a big three. And when you think of the Milwaukee Bucks, it's not just skill that makes you big three, it's money. And so the Bucks' big three is clearly Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday,
Mhm.
because Holiday is not just he's not an average point guard. He's not a guy that's going to come out here and score 7, 8, and 6. It might be 16. It's not always 25. But the fact that he comes out every day and makes the game on the line, sometimes Holiday's taking that shot. Okay?
I agree with everything you're saying. And like when I brought this topic up, we were talking about Brooklyn and Kyrie, and when I see Kyrie on the court, and you probably right, Tone, because he just freshly came off of COVID. He's been playing with like at colleges and stuff like that, so he's
They
he's
were also
fresh.
playing the Pacers.
Exactly, we're also playing the Pacers too.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, that's
That's
part
my
two.
magic line all the time about the Lakers wins. Why are we impressed by this?
So, my thing about Kyrie is he's so good. He's really that good. And so when he come on the court and before Kyrie, they'd have just lost that game. They'd have just lost that game. And
Is he
coming
really
him
that good?
he's that good.
Because there's game footage of when he used to wear a Celtics jersey
Yeah.
that
Talking to
would
Mike.
tell you that Kyrie just might
Kyrie-
might not be that
And
guy.
that was his team at that time
And-
too.
right.
That was his team.
Right.
That was his team. So-
He's not a leader mentally, but he's a general on that court. He's not your locker
He's a
room
scorer.
guy.
He's a scorer.
No, listen.
He's
Like
a
his
one-
idol
The
Kobe.
game
He's a
is
scorer.
different
He's a
when
one-star
on the
general.
court.
I'll give you that.
The game is different.
Okay.
KD plays at a whole different level when Kyrie's on the court. LeBron, the pressure is off of him when Kyrie is on the court. Jason Tatum had his best games when Kyrie was on the court when he was there of that season.
Then why didn't they go anywhere?
Well, because
Be-
Kyrie is
Because
you need leadership.
because
when they
Kyrie
went
isn't that guy.
When they got as far as they got in the playoffs that year,
he quit.
I believe there was no Kyrie.
He quit.
Or
quit.
he
quit.
hurt his ankle.
Well, what I'm saying, but he
He-
still quit. He
Yeah, a
quit.
little bit.
Kyrie
He
quit.
opted to get some kind of surgery that
So-
he
so-
really didn't need.
So at the
but
end of
he
the
needed
day,
it.
Kyrie's not going to lead your team. He'll
He
lead
not.
on the court. He'll be your floor guy. He'll bring that ball up. He'll call the plays. He'll tell. KD and LeBron need a Kyrie type of player on their team because they need someone to take that
because he
pressure
can
off
score
of them.
buckets.
Because he can score buckets.
He can score buckets.
And nobody in the game has better handles than him at that position.
You know,
Other than maybe Steph.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, Steph.
But I mean, my thing about
but
that
I'm gonna
was
take Kyrie handles over Steph slightly.
that's slightly.
I'm gonna take his
when I
handles.
said that though, when I did say that, I do still mean that because like when I seen that come back, I watched the game and I was like, man, this brother is good. This is good, real good.
The boy's bad.
Now was it because he was paying Indiana Pacers? That's a possibility, and we have to see going forward into the season. But for him,
If you thought Malcolm Brogdon was gonna stick Kyrie, I don't know what you thought.
exactly, I didn't know.
Do y'all remember when we wanted the Bucks to keep him, bro?
Brogdon?
I did.
I mean,
I was for it.
at the point in time when we was lobbying for it, I think he won Rookie of the Year.
He won Rookie of the Year. He was consistent. I was for it, and
Hey,
when they let him go, I was mad.
I'm not discounting his achievement.
Oh,
I
man.
just want to say I don't know any other rookies
Oh
that
no,
was good day. I don't even remember that
He's
draft
a good,
class.
he's a
I
good
don't
dude
either.
off the court.
he's a good dude off the court, but Kyrie was giving him the business when they did play him.
Man,
But
hard.
so I mean, so they won that game with a comeback win, and that game was in Indiana. Next game they played Milwaukee in Brooklyn, got blew out.
Blew out.
Was Kyrie on the court?
Kyrie was not on the
He was
court.
on
He
the
can't
court.
play in New York. They're not playing.
And here's the thing about Kyrie: if Brooklyn plays Milwaukee or Chicago, Kyrie can't play in none of them games.
Right.
Them home games. He
Home
can't.
games.
So
No, he can't play Chicago at all. Because
'cause
Chicago, you have to be vaccinated to go in any public place.
now
That's-
they just dropped that.
they just dropped that.
I
So
think
Kyrie can't
So-
play in
So
Chicago.
this goes back to my point of why do we care then? Because he can't be in key moments
Where we
because
might
of
need
these
him.
where we might need him. So it's a restriction. So now we're supposed to build our new roster to include you in it because you have these explosive moments in these great games, but then you may be
Against
missing for the
scrubs.
next 3 to 4 games.
So here's why it
Mm.
matters. Here's why it matters, Tone. I like to take, but here's why it matters. Because this is what people are saying. Kyrie took on the NBA and won. That's what people are saying. Because the NBA was standing by saying,
what a city,
Kyrie,
New York
you're
City.
wrong. They omitted Kyrie from the 75 best players.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They omitted him because of his take on the vaccine. Let's be honest, it was a political statement,
Okay, I
right?
get
And I give the political point. Now you won. Yay, let's wave the streamers and have the parade for you and the whole 9 yards because you proved that I got the right to get vaccinated if I do or I don't want. Now at the end of the day, you back in the game. Now what are you doing for the team?
Not a thing. Because,
Exactly. So what was this silent victory really for?
Because let me say this: if you can barely beat the Pacers with Kyrie,
Mm-hmm.
no one has anything to worry about because Harden is playing like a misstep,
Mediocre.
right? KD is giving everything he has, and if you need Kyrie to beat these scrubs, what's gonna happen when you play the Bucks in Milwaukee, when you play Chicago?
Didn't Memphis just wax Brooklyn?
They did.
They did.
But
Like
my
Ja Morant put like 40 on
Put
these
40.
boys?
You let John
Listen.
Morant put 40 on you?
You're right.
John Morant just put 40 on the Lakers too. So
If Morant is balling. Morant wants to go to the All-Star game. First of all,
That's what he
he
said.
want to go to the All-Star
He wants to
game.
go. He wants to play in the game. He tired of going and
You
hanging
know what
out
I'm
with
saying?
everybody.
He want to play in
But
the
what
game.
I'm saying is, like, now you won in the vaccine situation. Now we done got to the point
And
where
you didn't win. You just got a
You just-
technicality.
So
you
what-
loophole. But now your team is not going to be any better because you back.
Yeah.
You not.
Now, what if Kyrie wakes up on a Monday morning and reads the internet and they say, well, now you got to be vaccinated everywhere.
Exactly.
So you can't come
Nowhere.
nowhere because you don't want to get vaccinated. So guess what, bro? You technically don't have a job.
then there's a spot on Brooklyn
You
right
don't-
now.
You don't have a job.
Right. There's a spot on Brooklyn being
Because-
occupied by a part-time player.
So I said this-
Kyrie's just that good though.
no. I said this earlier in the year, and I'm going to say it again. And I'm a big Kyrie fan too. Zeke will tell you that.
He is.
Kyrie Irving is a distraction.
Facts.
The fact that Brooklyn caved to Kyrie shows how weak their management is. Because at the end of the day, you are not setting a good example. You are not setting a good tone. You said something, and you should have stuck with what you
You
said.
really should have.
Kyrie is a distraction, and it's only hurting KD. It's only hurting Brooklyn. And at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving will regret to see because his team listen.
Do
Again,
y'all
I want to say this.
Go ahead.
I want to say this. In America, please don't hate me. I am a Bucks guy. Do we really think our Bucks would have beat Brooklyn at full strength? On paper, and I believe in my team, but on paper, Kyrie, KD, and Harden should have
There goes that Bucks fan.
breezed
But
their way.
there goes that
They
Bucks
should've-
fan.
I'm not-
but
let's keep it real.
Keep it on the paper.
Let's keep it
Full
100.
strength, it's still going 7 games.
It's going
still
7.
7 games.
It's
Still
going
going
7.
7.
I believe that, and I'm glad the Bucks won. But right now, if that team, Brooklyn, was at full strength, they'd be going through the NBA. Like
that's my point, though.
I
When I
feel
say
like
their big three is probably the most dangerous big three in the NBA.
But the big three is like 2.2, 97% of the
The
time.
only reason
2.1,
you
man.
said that their big three is dangerous is because they don't need each other.
They can
They
don't.
can go elsewhere
They can
and
all
be
be
the
on
man. They can
individual
all be
teams
the
and be
man
good.
somewhere.
Well, they can't because Harden tried it and failed.
Kyrie tried to.
Kyrie tried it and failed. Durant tried it twice and failed.
Well, he
I don't
The
think
Golden State years
Kevin
don't count.
Durant ain't never did it though.
He did it
That's
in
the-
OKC.
No, he didn't win it. He didn't win.
He didn't win it, but he
You
was
had
the man.
you had
Right.
Russ with you,
But again, it
Ooh.
was draft.
and you had Harden.
It was draft. It
But
was
I'm
Oh,
saying
I
that
see
though.
what you're saying. I see
was
what you're saying.
drafted.
It wasn't okay.
It
I
was
see what you're saying.
drafted. KD was that team was designed to be KD's
It was.
team, and it was. He hit it because the team he couldn't beat, he joined.
That was
Okay,
And on top of that, he could.
Kyrie
he couldn't
is
control
a prime
Westbrook.
example of when you good at something, people will look the other way or make hella
definitely.
accommodations.
listen.
It's just like that star player who cannot pass math. You gotta get this math class for you to come on this court. But you suck at math. But you know what? As your teacher, bro, that D looking real C.
You need a
Yeah.
you need a Tyreek.
C
you need
minus.
a Tyreek St. Patrick to do your homework so you
Right,
can play
like,
that game. You know, that's a
That
ghost
Ky-
reference.
Kyrie
I
just
know.
he's a distraction. But when you arguably top 5 players in the fucking NBA,
Uh-huh.
they gonna look the other way.
So y'all
or
agree?
they-
Man, we was good until about. We was good up until 3 seconds ago. He was good.
I didn't hear
I
anything.
was-
But no,
It's all good.
so y'all not excited about Kyrie coming
I'm
back.
not. I think I think the NBA. I think Brooklyn dropped the ball on that because the NBA up until then was really hard on their COVID protocols. They were really hard on it, and like my
Well,
man
until
said, when
Kobe
you're-
was like, "Nah, I got some for y'all. These hands."
yeah.
Right.
It's told me
When
I
you
got
big-
these hands for y'all. Y'all really,
I'm happy that Kyrie is able to come back and do what he feels necessary, but at the end of the day, it's a distraction. Your team will start to, I'm not going to say envy you, they will start holding some resentment towards you.
Like you got to think about it. Brooklyn now has to create 2 rosters.
too.
They have to create a with Kyrie and a without Kyrie
Because he can't even practice.
right.
He can't even
Oh, he
practice.
can't.
I think people who play for Brooklyn who are less talented than Kyrie, they're gonna feel like how they felt in LA.
Right.
Oh,
Like, so you mean to tell me because you Kawhi Leonard, you could call in and be like, "No, I'm not coming to practice today,"
Thank you.
or I'm gonna sit out because I'm Kawhi Leonard.
that's just how the ball drops. So
But
I get that.
I
That's just
feel
how the
like-
ball drops.
So the
But
only way we can practice is if we go and buy Kyrie house and use his court in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
There's not in New
Or we
York.
can go to a college up north somewhere
Right? You can't play
in the
here.
main.
I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I think
I
at
see
the
what
end of the
you're
day,
saying.
Brooklyn really just did not want to lose out on the possibility of a good player.
They should have
So
traded.
just in case y'all wake up one day, it was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go get the vaccination. Okay, we still got him. Let's put him in. Compared to like, nah, fam, you wild and we gonna let you go, and then you go to a city that don't got them rules and restriction, like Milwaukee, for an example,
Mhm.
and now he can just have fun. And the only game he got to miss is a New York game.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Not to say that we all know that vaccines don't stop.
Don't you
from
say that.
getting it. It helps.
Don't you say it.
Oh, I'm about to say
Look,
it.
Bear, I'm alive.
Don't
I'm
you
about
say
to
it,
say
man.
it. I'm about to say it,
I'm
man.
vaxxed. You vaxxed?
What?
You vaxxed?
I'm happily vaccinated, and I know it
He
doesn't.
vaccinated twice on top.
Yeah, I
of
got my booster. You know, COVID almost killed my mom and others, and I'm not. And again, not making it about vaccines, but I do believe it's a personal choice. But
It is.
nevertheless,
but business comes first.
business comes first. You're objecting your employer. But what happens if Kyrie goes into COVID protocol again? Now we have to wait again 14 more days.
Well, 5 days.
No,
CDC.
CDC changed that up. It's 5 days if you are
vaccinated
or something like that. Don't give me the lying, but it has to be complemented with a COVID test, right?
Oh, really?
Yes,
Jesus.
it has to come
Change every
At
day.
least that's what it changed to. But
Kobe keep throwing these hands, bro.
The whole reason I say that is to say that
I want to hear the CDC director say that. It's called throwing his hands down.
Kyrie, right? That's the next variant, right? Kyrie doesn't have enough in him because he doesn't play enough to help Brooklyn get to the finals. So this is just a stop in the Kyrie's tour of madness.
How many more years he got left on his contract there?
2.
One. No, this year, next year. So one.
Brooklyn has already said in circles from what we've read and heard in the rumor mill that they're not extending him.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. So now you definitely wasting our time and our money. Because if you gonna sit here and still
because he got to get paid for those games he play.
Right. So he's still getting paid.
He's not getting paid. No, he's not getting paid for the games he's.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting paid for the games he plays.
Because you can't be paid for miss because you're not.
Right. I mean, I get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, but it's the fact of now. Once again, there's somebody on that bench who just needs a shot that this dude keep taking.
I mean, Tony, you really just killed my Kyrie buzz. I mean, I was excited.
I mean,
you should have showed me the list.
Are you a Kyrie fan?
I am a fan of his skill set. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of him.
This is a callback because he said he wasn't a fan of him.
I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of his skill set. So I know it's a skill set, but I like.
So you're a fan of Kyrie?
So it means if you make it a player on 2K 9 times 10,
how
you're
are
using his
you
setup.
a fan of his skill set?
Because many players have that same skill set.
No, they don't.
What?
I just told you ain't nobody better at handling the rock than Kyrie.
Steph Curry.
Possibly Steph.
I'm not. So when I say fan, I won't excuse Kyrie for the stuff he's doing.
No, I'm not asking you to excuse it. Like, see, I'm good at separating the person from you and your athlete. See, Kyrie is an athlete.
Okay.
So if you're a fan of what he does on the court, technically you're a fan.
Yeah. So
you don't have to respect what he does in his personal life because it's not your beliefs. But when it comes to watching basketball, ain't nobody better than my point guard Kyrie. That's what you say.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that when I say I'm a fan of his skill set, I would say that I can be objective to the stuff he does, even if it's on or off the court. So when we gave the example,
you an objective fan.
All right, I'm an objective fan of everybody though.
But you said earlier you wasn't a fan of people. I don't see how you can watch ball and not be a fan of someone.
I'm a fan of basketball.
That's how I say it. That's when people. You got a favorite team now? I just like the sport.
So I mean,
Bucks.
That's
I'm a home team.
Like for me, I'm a fan of basketball. Bucks is my team. I like LeBron. I like Steph.
We'll see about
I like
that.
Really.
I'm just saying,
really.
You
want to go there?
I'm saying you're
really
no, because you're a Bucks fan, but.
No, I'm a Bucks fan that that can be objective of the team. When the team is playing well, you give them their props.
It depends
when
on
they're
what he's talking
stinking
about.
it up, you give them their props.
Not an objective Bucks fan?
Man, no.
No. Say it. Go ahead, say it.
Okay, he'll say what he thinks is right at that moment.
No, I'm not a bandwagon.
No, I didn't call you a bandwagon. Now, let me say,
that's what that is.
I'm a fan. I like Steph, but I hate Golden State. I hate Golden State.
Why do you hate Golden State?
Well, I hated them with KD because it was not good for basketball.
No, it wasn't.
It was not good for basketball. And Zeke and I talked about this. There will be games in the KD years.
Oh, they was bullying teams about 50.
We would stop watching the game after the first quarter.
Yeah, they was up by 50.
Wouldn't even go to the game when they played Milwaukee because it wasn't good for the sport. But that doesn't mean that I'm a bad. It just means I appreciate Steph Curry as a ball player, like we do so many other players. Like Morant is a baller.
Well, I ain't gonna say that it was not good for the sport because technically they did nothing wrong.
Technically, they did nothing wrong.
I mean, in the parameters of the situation, Kevin Durant was a free agent.
You're right.
Free will to do whatever you want.
You're right.
So
a free agent superstar
if you're gonna pay me X amount of money that I'm asking for, and you already got two of the greatest shooters ever, and I walk over it, it's perfectly fine because you had the money to pay for it.
I mean, it's just like when LeBron went to Miami, and people were looking at that and hated that. It's kind of on the same realm. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Matter of fact, I didn't like it. I didn't like it when LeBron James went to Miami. I did not
Why
like it
didn't you like it?
because,
It was
like
the
he
birth of the
just said,
super teams.
it was the birth of the super teams, and it was one of those things.
That's
It
not the birth
became
of super teams,
it
bro.
For his
became
era,
unfair.
For his era, it
No,
was.
because I'm like, was Barkley, Drexler, and
See, now-
Olajuwon not a super team?
No, because
No.
of
That wasn't
Barkley,
planned.
it was late in his
It
career.
doesn't matter.
It does.
The names were still
It
their
matters.
names.
Like
It
right
is.
now, the Lakers are not a super team. They're a team with
But on
names.
paper, they're
on
a super team.
papers,
On paper, they're a super team. They're not performing like one.
Oh,
5
yeah.
years ago, 5 years ago. So all I'm saying is, in this new era of basketball with KD and what LeBron did, it's bad for the sport, and it is bad.
It's
for the
bad
sport.
on a competitive level. 'Cause
It's bad for
every
the
time
sport.
every time you want to see basketball, you want to see it can be competitive.
Listen,
So when KD went to Golden State, they was blowing teams out by 70. They on the court flipping water bottles. We like, wait, what the is this?
yeah,
And then even when same thing with Miami.
go back and listen to our Bucks episodes.
But you know what I feel like? I feel like if you don't want to see me dance, keep me out the end zone. So
well,
if you,
it's easy
it's-
to do when
it's
you
easy.
Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and
Yeah.
that's
But-
what that is.
but what I'm saying is like, Terrell Owens. I know
Okay.
this is basketball, but this is football.
Sure, we throw football in here from time to time.
Terrell Owens is one of the greatest wide receivers ever played the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Chad Johnson,
Yeah.
one of the best.
Ocho Cinco.
You don't want to see that celebration?
not on
Stop me.
With
Stop me
with-
from
hold on,
getting to
with
the
football,
spot.
with football is
No, that's
different. With
different.
football is different.
Not a good analogy, bro. You was
With-
good
with
all
football-
day into that.
I'm
No.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna
No.
tell you why.
Not
Football
a
is
good
different.
analogy.
Football is
Not a
different
good analogy.
because with basketball, I want to say it's more on the individual, but an individual can turn a whole situation around. When it comes to KD and LeBron, these guys are once in a generation talent. They can't quote unquote be stopped. And so that when even with the Bucks in the playoffs when they played Brooklyn for the conference finals, we was just worried about KD.
That's
We
it.
weren't about nobody else on
That's
that
it.
team. And we were a toenail from being exited out of the NBA conference finals
So here-
because of one person. Now, when you talk about Ocho Cinco and T.O., they can have 4 touchdowns. But if that defense don't stop that next on the opposite team, they still gonna lose the game.
you do
'cause
not.
So
take-
when it's like Aaron Rodgers, he can only play offense. So if the defense is bad, which
Right, but what I'm saying,
I see what you're saying,
He
though.
as the cornerback,
uh-huh.
if I'm sick of every time I look up and you dancing,
Yeah.
that means I'm not doing my job.
no,
That's
no.
true.
Because I can't stop you.
In
That's true.
football,
you keep
that's
getting
true.
open.
That's
No.
true. In football.
In
Right,
football,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
but in basketball, when you take the team that just won the title, the team that won 60
Well,
plus
look,
games,
If I knew that this was the situation going into the season, we gotta prepare for this.
But
No.
Now, it ain't no way to prepare for
But
it.
one,
We gotta do
here-
something.
Here's
No.
what we're talking about.
No.
Like with
No.
NBA,
no,
you have teams and everybody
He
plays
said
their roles.
no.
You have people who play their roles, and then you have people who are good in the roles they play.
Yeah.
When you take all the good people who are really good in their roles and you put them in one place, that's 99 in everybody.
yes,
You can't beat 99 in everybody, dog, and expect it to be enjoyable.
Golden State. That's
Hey,
give my man a clap. Give my man a clap.
Hey,
for that.
good one. I too.
You know, I got,
People beat Golden State though.
but they beat.
They didn't go
yeah,
82. They didn't go 82 and 0.
I
Dang
mean,
near.
at that point in
73
time,
and 9.
That was before KD.
73 and 9 was with KD.
No,
No, it
wasn't.
was
That was
before.
before
before.
KD.
Okay,
Before.
It was
you're
before.
right. You're right.
73 and 9
that's what-
was before
That's
Kevin
why
Durant.
I was irritated.
73,
So that I can
But they still
understand.
won 60 plus games with KD. Listen,
Bucks
73
won
and 9 is
60
what
plus
made
games.
After.
KD want to go there.
my point exactly. You just made my point.
And he doing it with
You did
complimentary stars.
No, he's doing it with complimentary. And KD, not only did you join a team with 2 top 10 stars
He did
or
it again.
shooters,
Top 10.
you joined a team that just crushed your championship aspiration. If a poster was made of if you can't beat them, join them,
It would be KD.
Kevin
It would be
Durant.
Kevin
It's a
Durant
Golden
would be
State
it.
Warriors post. It
As a
definitely is.
Golden State Warrior. Take us home, bro. That's it.
Well, this has been before we get up out of here, we're about to get up out of here. It's been a long episode, and I figured it would be.
A good episode. It was very organic.
Very
Shout out to y'all.
Klay
man.
Thompson is coming back.
Bike.
And right now, after 941 days, Warriors are currently in second place at 29-9. Real quick, go around the table. All right, prediction as far as 82 games go.
For the record?
For the record.
For who?
For Golden State.
What are you asking us?
I'm asking y'all, is this going to be more wins with Klay Thompson because of Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
Or same amount or less?
More. Easy plus 10.
Easy.
Easy plus 10.
I've already told you. Golden State.
I say even.
Golden State.
We got 40 games. We got 40 games left. I said they go
out those 40.
30 and 15.
Golden State will have the best record when it's all said and done.
38-2.
They will have
38-2.
38-2.
Golden State will have the best record when it's all said and done. They won't lose more than, I say, 16 or 17 games this season. Klay Thompson will fit in very well.
So 40 games left. It's like 42 games left. I said 30.
Curry,
I said 30.
Plus.
I said 30 and with 30 and 15.
Yeah.
60 plus.
38-2.
38-2.
Steph Curry
plus.
is amazing right now. Andrew Wiggins is getting better.
Yeah.
What's the dude? I think he's from here.
Jordan
Poole is nuts.
Who will see some minutes decline though.
He gonna lose some minutes.
He'll understand.
But he's
he
gonna
understands.
understand, and when he get in and get his shots,
yeah,
he gonna make them count.
Or Golden State is also known for running small lineups. Golden State might run
Draymond
with
at
Klay.
the 5.
They might run with Steph, Poole, Klay, Wiggins, and Draymond.
Just gonna run them boys out the building. That's what they finna do.
Because remember, Golden State, they're not necessarily defensively. Their defense machine is Draymond. Right. Golden State beats you with shooting.
They'll
and
shoot
if you have
building.
Poole, Klay, and Steph on the court, this is almost like a repeat of KD because all those guys have sharp shooting.
That's what I miss Kesey for. He would ride with me on this. But anyways,
Bro,
only because he know LA is going to be a suffer from
it's
it.
Unbeatable. And if Klay Thompson is out here looking like Jackie Moon from Semi Pro,
yeah,
I'm with it. I'm with all the smoke, bro. Let him shoot.
It just hit me what he said.
And let's not forget, Golden State is walking around with a chip on their shoulder right now.
Yeah. Because
everybody was dogging them last year. People were saying it was over. People were saying this and that. And remember, I predicted at the beginning of the season that Draymond Green is a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year.
I think you should get it.
And he's probably going to win it.
He should.
So
Maybe.
Golden State this year, Steve Kerr might win Coach of the Year.
No.
Steph Curry, I'm saying he brought him back from lottery almost last year.
Right.
Steph Curry's probably going to win MVP if Giannis doesn't beat him out. Klay Thompson might win Comeback Player of the Year. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Poole might win Most Improved Player.
Okay, now you push it too
far. No. Listen, if you think
are we
about
still doing all this without James Wiseman?
Yeah.
Yes.
So just imagine when he come back and if he's good.
Yeah,
the only thing that can stop
it's scary out there.
The only thing that can stop the Golden State train is COVID.
COVID or injuries.
It's scary in the West.
That's the thing.
So whatever Phoenix thought they was finna run back,
I hope
Golden State, Milwaukee.
It's gonna be a long day for Devin Booker on the light skin train.
I hope
because Klay Thompson is back.
I hope Holiday is back on Thursday so we can get a first real look at the Bucks versus, and the Warriors. Because that's my prediction for the final.
Yeah, Golden State,
Milwaukee. That is.
Are they in Milwaukee or we
in Milwaukee? Y'all saying Golden State? In Milwaukee. Y'all saying Golden State finals?
Golden State, Milwaukee
finals. I could definitely see Golden State get to the finals.
Oh,
who out west?
Who gonna stop them, dog?
Gonna beat them on
and
paper.
With Klay back, Phoenix won't stop them. Never.
Never. They gonna run Phoenix around.
I got Phoenix.
Look at what Curry was doing to Chris Paul when Chris Paul was a Clipper.
Look what he's doing to him now.
And that was a healthier Chris Paul.
Listen, man. I got Golden State in Milwaukee, and I can't wait to see the game on Thursday. I got Golden State.
Well, that's been another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank Dre, first of all, and Kesey.
You know, if you got an extra ticket for that game,
and Kesey, you see you at home for COVID, man. Hopefully you'll be back next couple of weeks. And also like to thank Dev Fresh. What?
Go ahead, man.
I said I hope I see you in the next couple of weeks.
Go ahead, man.
I
I
mean,
don't
he's
know.
not using his seats, are he?
I'm
So-
just saying,
No,
like,
y'all
Fresh
missed it.
came in with some good opinions.
Yeah,
and you might get your
No,
spot.
I was
booked.
talking about the Bucks game tickets.
No, I'll take a second.
But
Shout out to
shout out
Jeff
to
Fresh.
Kesey, shout out to Kesey and shout out to Def Fresh Podcast for joining us. You guys are a good time. You guys are a good time.
Good time. Listen to us on Spreakers.
Listen to us on that too. But listen to us on Apple, Spotify.
Hey man, I'm tired of you messing it up. Be quiet. Listen to us on Spreakers, iTunes, Amazon, Apple Music, Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts, Spotify, wherever your favorite podcasts are listened to. Follow us on social media at 94 Feet Podcast. We're on Facebook,
Twitter.
Instagram, just not TikTok because why?
We're adults.
All right.
And also agree with this? Probably not.
Yeah.
Peace.
94 Feet Nation.